What? Someone got a little sun. Glowing, bronzed, and beautiful. Look at me, I got a little tan. Sun came and gave me a kiss. Because I just got back from, you know what? I'm actually not gonna tell you. I think I'm just gonna gatekeep this one to myself because I just went somewhere really special. Somewhere untouched. At the dawn of the 20th century, when so many of our ancestors arrived at Ellis Island, they had one hope in their hearts: the American dream. They dreamt of a free world, a free square. A square with 360,000 pedestrians walking through it every single day, each of them getting harassed for money by a busted-looking, handsy minion. And today, that dream is a reality in Times Square. If you're visiting the city, you'll be ambushed with pesky tourist guides pressuring you into exploring hidden gems or going off the beaten path. Bullshit! Why go off the beaten path when you can have a beautifully tarmacked intersection in the shadow of where they used to film TRL? On behalf of all real New Yorkers, I'm here to tell you that there's only one real place to hang out, and it's not in a frickin' park. I don't care how central that Loserville is.
Part 1. A history of the square.
People always forget that Times Square has history. It's over 100 years old, which is one of the oldest ages that anything can be. Times Square is named for the New York Times, a bastion of modern journalism, which is why it's now covered in advertising. Am I right, fellas? One thing led to another, and all of those old-timey people realized, say, this seems like a good place to have a good time. So they came up with things like the ball drop, where a ball with a bunch of bulbs is slowly lowered 70 feet at midnight. What a thrill. Previously, New Year's celebrations were held outside Trinity Church, but the church hated it so much because people had a little tradition of throwing bricks in the air. Now, why did that practice die out? Come on, it's a special night. Andy Cohen should be allowed to throw bricks if he's in the mood. It's New Year's. But then people realized there might be more to fun than bulbs or even brick throwing. So by the 1970s, Times Square was the hub of drug trafficking, sex work, and adult entertainment, where all the old music halls and theaters had become porno cinemas. So yeah, they're fucking old. And then the 1990s hit, and there was one people's princess who emerged from the ashes. Mayor Rudolph Giuliani. Rudy led the efforts to clean up the square from its reputation as a hub of drugs, sex work, and adult entertainment. Then he continued his spotless career in politics and never did anything bad or weird ever. He was awesome. And somehow still alive.
Part 2. Experience the square.
Thanks to Rudy, Times Square is now the crossroads of the world. Leave your blue light glasses at home, folks. This is the most magical place on earth. And by that, I mean we're gonna get so overstimulated, we're gonna come out in a damp rash. Buckle up. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the old New York Times building is now entirely encased in LED signs and at various points was home to a multi-story Walgreens and something called the JCPenney experience? Can you imagine being able to go there and experience one of the most dehydrated teenage screaming matches with your mom? Awesome. If you want to see official costume characters, you can go to Disneyland like any other normcore pervert. But why pass up the chance to see some real ingenuity and creativity? Look at the face work. Look at the crossbody bags, the fingerless gloves. I love them all, apart from the naked cowboy, who I take issue with because he is neither naked nor wielding any cattle. He's just partially dressed boy, and he has an obvious darkness in his heart. There may be a piece of 1987 city ordinance that requires all the buildings to be covered in bright signs, which is awesome, by the way, but that doesn't mean the sensory overload is limited to just your vision. There is, of course, sound. Sirens, street magicians, yelling, discriminatory preaching from all major and minor world religions. There's smell, the classic piss and variations thereupon, engine fumes, street meats, burning that you don't have to worry about, burning that you do have to worry about. Taste, mild nausea, someone else's gum. Combine that with the psychological je ne sais quoi of being in a slow-moving, stressed-out crowd, and you, my friend, have a feast for the senses.
Part 3. Maximize the square for all.
One of the big criticisms of the square is that it got Disney-fied when they bought one of the theaters and had all the adult businesses evicted to have stuff like Madame Tussauds. And Madame Tussauds is swell. I love looking at a reconstructed Timothée Chalamet that I could light up like a candle as much as the next girl. But I agree with the critics too. We lost something when the pornography got evicted. So I propose we get some compromises. Number 1, we should be able to see the waxworks junk. Some people might not want to see the wax genitals, and that's fine. I'm talking a Starbucks secret menu kind of deal. It's not an advertised thing, but if you ask for it, you can get a puppuccino if you know what I mean. Number 2, all of the puppet operators and audience members at the Lion King Live can be on hard drugs. Number 3, once a year we do the purge in Times Square. Muggings, murder, and the off-brand Elmo gets to say a slur. Everyone gets it out of their system. If there's still resistance, we need to show people that this is a major part of American history. We need to do a seedy age Times Square Colonial Williamsburg. Reenactors pretending to be criminals and perverts sneaking into porno movie theaters. Families with their Stanley cups and backpacks are able to stop them and ask about their past. And the character is able to give a blow-by-blow of their exact kinks and fetishes. And finally, I want to take the Disney-fying one step further. I want to franchise out Times Square so there's one in every city, nay, one on every block, as an experience accessible to all. No child left behind? Try no child left without a good bit of late-stage capitalism mainlined into their eyeballs. Unfortunately, the world isn't a perfect place. Sorry if you had to hear it from me. Some places in the world might not accept my proposal of a brand new Times Square because it would be too expensive or they'd have to knock down a children's hospital. This is the exact kind of small-minded attitude you get from someone who hasn't spent the day getting a T-Mobile ad burned into their retinas. But what if I told you that anyone could experience Times Square simply by going on Google Maps with their screen really close to their face? Oh, whoa, I'm in front of the Swatch store. Whoa! Whoa! The gap got bigger! Woo! Oh, let's go steal from Sephora. They're not paying attention. Yes! Woo! I'm Rose Kelso. This has been Woman Talking, and you're watching me, a woman talking. See you next time.